Hey, welcome back. It's Rick from the channel. And now what you see on the wall behind you, actually, my sister Ada is standing right here. I'm going to let her explain. We're just about to go into the carving studio with Joe, who makes all these beautiful things. And we just wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory on some of this stuff that's very interesting that's right in here behind you on the wall. So, Ada?
Well, this is usually on the wall, but we took it off so that I could show you. Okay, see the balls in there? They move. Now, those balls are not added later. He actually carves those balls in, and then they're attached by a tiny, tiny little thing, and then he uses his knife and frees them. So those balls are integral. They don't come out. And you see the chain link again. He carves that. These are all one piece, these three together. They don't come apart. There's no seam. Now, Joe made this out of two by
Two
two,
by two.
2 by 2, just a piece of 2 by 2. And it was a practice piece for him. And he said, "Oh, well, I'll just throw it in the fire." And I said, "Oh, no, you won't." Because I really like it. I think it's just beautiful. But know that it was just a piece of 2 by 2. And you know, it's the carving, I think, that makes it wonderful. And on the wall behind, those spoons, those are called Welsh love spoons. And in Wales, the young men look after the sheep. They go way out into the hills and feed the sheep and take care of them and keep them away from the wolves. And there's not much to do. And sitting around the fire at night, they take a piece of wood and they take their knife and they carve these spoons. And it's a betrothal gift for their girlfriend back in town. So when they come back in at the end of summer, they've got this beautiful spoon that they give, and then that's the girl they're going to marry. So those are called Welsh love spoons. This is uh, this is a wood spirit. It's cottonwood bark, very thick bark, and he looks at it and sees what it tells him and carves that face into it. So that one and that one up there, those are two cottonwood barks. So anyway, that's a few of the things he does.
That's it.
That's it.
We'll be right back.
Okay, I'm back with a few more of Joe's carvings to show you. These very sweet little things are called gnome houses. It, they're quite ancient. I'm Irish heritage, and we believe in the little people and the gnomes and things. Here's a couple of kind of little carved gnomes, and these would be their homes. And I have to tell you, these Joe's done many of them. Here's one here that's a clock with a little gnome in it. And they're best put in the window so you can see the windows come right through. There's how the back looks. So the carving goes right through. Uh, and the thing is, these are really, really hard for Joe to do. And I'll tell you why. Because Joe is that measure twice, cut once? Well, Joe's a measure 5 times, cut once kind of a guy. Everything he does is just perfect. Like when he was a welder and all his corners are perfect, everything is perfect. And none of these are square, none of these are perfect. He said, well, nobody would have a window like that. Look at this crazy door, look at this window, it's not even square. I said, I know, isn't it magic? These are magic. There's no real entry to a lot of them. This one has no entry door at all. He starts with a window down there. Joe says, well, how do they get in? I said, it's magic. These are gnome houses. We love these. Joe's going to show you how to carve one of these.
Hey, here we go. It's Rick here. This is my brother-in-law, Joe. Joe, thank you for being so gracious to show me your magic and your carving. You just saw previously my sister Ada showing, and we're bragging about some of Joe's carvings. Joe's kind of a humble guy, so we get to brag for him. Is that okay, Joe, that we
Good
brag
for
for you?
me. Yep, works for
So,
me.
can you tell us what we're looking at here and what's just about to happen, Joe?
Well, we're looking at a gnome house, and I'm going to carve out this window here and maybe put some siding on.
Oh, excellent. Well, what I'm going to do so that the people that are watching can see it a little better, unfortunately, it'll take a little bit of Joe out of the picture, but I'm going to set this up a little bit more behind him so you can actually physically watch some of the pieces of wood come off of this and how it starts to form. So bear with me. Be right back in the workshop here. Joe's going to start some carving. I just adjusted the camera so we can get a bit of a better look. Go for it, Joe. Let's see what you do. I'm kind of interested. And there might not be, go ahead, buddy. There might not be a lot of talking as we go because I'm going to sort of be quiet and maybe I'll ask Joe a few questions as we go. Um, Joe, can you work and talk at the same time?
I'm not good at talking to begin with.
I know you're not, but that's okay. So let me tell you a little, let me ask you a little something while you're working away here. These are beautiful tools. I'm watching them work. I know that you just got yourself a new set of tools. Tell me a little bit of a story. What happened to get you? Because you spent a bit of money, and I know that wasn't something you planned on doing.
Well, no, because I got quite shaky, so I figured I needed longer handle tools so I can get two hands on them, and that's why I changed to a longer handle.
Okay, don't let me
Now,
interrupt you.
for something like this, I'm using a little V tool, and this way I can put both hands on, and I can just push it along.
So we get to watch this actually forming in front of our eyes. I find this so fascinating. And Joe, you were a welder for a living. What are you
Oh
doing?
yeah,
What are you doing being a carver now? What happened?
that's a lot cleaner, let me tell you.
Easier on the lungs, right?
Easier.
So you can actually physically hear the pieces of wood coming out of here, and you're watching them being carved as we. Can you tell me, Joe, what you've done here already? What kind of a time frame would that be to do that?
Well, if it would take about 5 hours.
Oh, that's about 5 hours of work that we see.
Yeah.
Now, to finish this piece, are we looking at another 5 hours, or what do you think?
No, now I'm pretty well set with what I want to do, so it doesn't take long after. Another maybe 3 hours.
So about an 8-hour day to create a
It's about
beautiful
that. Yeah.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't hold you up. Go ahead, Joe, and continue in there. And I find it interesting as he works here, and we get to watch. Joe was a welder, and I don't think that you did any carving when you were a welder. So
Not a bit.
as you got into the more experienced time of life, which is sort of our and now what time, which is what I sort of stress in my videos, you all of a sudden thought, I'd like to become a carver. And here you are, in my opinion, a master carver. These people have seen some of your work. Does it still surprise you that you had this in you all the time?
Yeah, it's kind of. It took a while for me to realize that I could do this stuff. But I did a lot that didn't work to
Well,
begin with.
well, that's okay. That's all part of the
Oh yeah, part of the
experimentation
learning.
project,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. Now I'm going to take another tool here.
What's this tool doing, Joe?
Now I'm just going to take out the. I'm going to countersink it like this.
Oh, so you're going much deeper into the wood.
Oh yeah, you got to go about at least a quarter of an inch in.
What's the type of wood you're carving right here?
This is cottonwood bark.
Cottonwood. So that's a piece of bark that you're cutting.
Piece of bark. That's all it is. It's just.
So that's what it would have looked like before you started your work on
Before I
it.
started anything.
Oh, excellent.
It's kind of fragile, but it takes detail well.
It's kind of interesting. I named my channel, and now what? Joe got to that point of life. He retired and needed something to do. Probably said to himself, "And now what?" And
Yeah.
here we are, getting to watch someone who is now becoming master carver, just because of a little thought. And now what? Now what am I going to do? So, if you think that there's something that you can't do in life, just give it a try. See what happens.
That's all it takes. Yeah.
I don't know if I have the talent in me to do what Joe's doing here, but perhaps one day, when I'm not busy making videos, I'll get a chance to ask him, and maybe I can start doing something like this.
So you just keep whittling until you got what you want.
Now you're making this look easy, but a lot of this comes with some years of experience now,
Oh
Joe.
yeah, yeah. Now if this was basswood, I'd probably be using the longer because basswood is harder.
It's a harder wood.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your favorite wood, your wood of preference to use?
Basswood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you also made me, sometime back, you made me a beautiful walking stick. And the walking stick had some very unique properties to it. It was made from a piece of diamond willow. Is that correct?
That's right. Yes.
Where do you get your diamond willow from when you...
At the time, I lived on an acreage, and I just went out to on the acreage and got it.
So diamond willow's properties is very hard wood?
No, it's not. The wood itself is not hard. No, sometimes because the brown part the diamond is kind of a bit harder.
Okay. Now, when you have pieces of wood, do you see things in them before you start?
Lots of times, yeah. I say,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this will make a good this. This will make a good that. You know.
So I'm just going to reach over here. I'm going to give you one of these in greater depth. This is another one of Joe's gnome houses that he just has sitting above him here. You can go ahead, Joe, and continue. I'm going to yap away like I usually do. You're used to that. He's my brother-in-law. He's got to put up with me. So that's just another example of some of his beautiful work. And as you look at the back here, you can see where the wood started from. And I just find it interesting that you see things in wood that you make come to life.
Yeah, and I always hate to throw away a piece of wood, so that's why all those little things are there.
Oh, here's what Joe's talking about. These are just little chunks of wood that he ended up turning into little chunks of masterpiece. So everything has a purpose, correct,
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, this one's interesting. I need to show people that are watching. I didn't see this one. What would you call this one, Joe? What is this? Little fisherman?
Yeah, but it's for a cork. Eh?
Oh, it's a wine cork. Look
Wine
at this.
cork,
This
yeah.
goes in as a cork, and this is a little fisherman. So we get to watch this actually come into fruition as we started with basically a blank piece of wood, and all of a sudden there's things starting to appear on it.
With this, you got to be kind of gentle. It's easy to break a piece off, like I did there.
So you broke a little piece off there, which just creates little natural imperfections, correct?
At one time, I would have tried to do something about it, but now it looks good.
Now you just learned to live with the fact that it's not going to come out as
perfect. Yeah,
it's not a piano, right?
right. Took a while for me to do that, but that was the hardest part, I think.
The hardest part is getting used to the fact that because you're a bit of a perfectionist, aren't you?
Nothing is square, so
yeah, you're a perfectionist, I think, right?
Well, you could call it that, I guess. Now I'm just going to. This is a different tool altogether. It's
what does that do?
This is for chip carving. Chip carving.
Okay.
You just take little pieces.
Take little
out.
chips out. Okay.
Yeah. I use it for a lot of things.
So, Joe, we're just gonna sort of draw this to a close.
Okay.
You won't get to see the finished product. I will later, but can I ask you a question? If somebody has an interest and they think that they might like to start into the carving world, what do they do? What's the procedure? How does somebody? Is there books? Is there courses? Is there what?
There's courses and there's books. I took one course, and then after that, I started reading books.
So reading books, and you access those online. Is there any in particular that you can think that you would suggest to people?
Well, like Woodcarving Illustrated. Great.
Okay, Woodcarving Illustrated. You can build your skills, and here's some stuff that other people have done. And there's whittling, there's carving, learn how to carve golf balls, all sorts of stuff in there.
Yeah. And they come out I think it's 3 times a year.
Okay.
And my tools I get from Chipping Away.
Oh, Chipping Away. Good name. I like it.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea. Now, I just want to tell you, thank you for your time today. This is my brother-in-law, Joe, and I'm Rick from the channel And Now What. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to get some further content later. It helps me to produce it. And if you want to reach me directly, andnowwhatvideos@gmail.com. Let me know in the comments or send me an email what you'd like to see in the future, and I'll do my best to accommodate. Thanks for your time today. Adios until we meet again.